Okie dokie. So these are our engagement activities that we do every week here. So this is almost like a little checklist. We try and run through this, try and do these activities during this 30-minute session. So the first thing I want you to do, if you haven't already looked at Instagram yet today, I would like you to open it up on your phone. I would like you to open up the app and see what notifications and what messages you have got on there. And the first task is to respond to those messages, reply to those comments, and get back to the people that are in the middle of a conversation with us.
Good morning, good morning.
Yeah. Is that only just come up on the app?
Your notifications,
Yeah.
they will be along the very top of the app in like the top right hand corner. There's a little heart.
Yeah.
So if that's
okay. Yeah.
Then you can click on that and see your notifications from there.
Got you.
So that's where you can see who your new follower people are. You can see commented, you can see what you've commented, so you can sort of make sure that you have replied to people. Wonderful. Right, let's move on to number 2 then. So we're going to spend a little bit of time sending a new follower message to any new people that have recently started to follow us. So this is just an introductory message, basically. It's an introductory message to introduce yourself, welcome them to your account, tell them a little bit about what you do, and ideally ask them a question so that you can start a conversation with them. They've got a reason to respond to you and tell you a little bit about them and what they do or what they're struggling with. So this is one that I ask everyone to kind of draft on their phone, maybe save it into your notes section on your phone or onto a document. And then all we need to do is copy and paste that message to anybody that's new. Anyone that starts to follow us, we have that introductory message that we then send to them. So it might be for this session, Liana, that you actually just spend this time making the message first of all. And then when somebody new follows you, you can then give them that message.
Okay. already have one that's made up before.
Sorry?
So, because I was dealing with Facebook, I've already had things that I've made up before for introduction. Is that that's good enough, right?
Yeah, that's
What
good.
I do.
Yeah, I would just try to end it with a question, ideally, so that there's a reason for people to respond back.
Okay. And is that on these messages, when you put on Instagram, do you then have to follow it up with your link or something, or they just go to your link automatically when they see the profile?
Yeah, I wouldn't send a link straight away to somebody new.
Okay. Just introduce yourself.
Yeah, just introduce yourself, and depending on if they reply and what they say, then it might be appropriate for you to send a discovery call link or a website link or whatever, once you know a little bit more about them.
Okay, thank you. So, when you ask a questions like that at the end, it's like, say I've described something and I'm just sort of saying, is this something you or someone you know may be interested in? Something like that. Is that good enough, or how should it be? Sorry, this is something completely new to me. So.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, that would be a good question. The idea kind of is like, if you were a market or a networking event and you were telling people about what you do, what are the kinds of questions that you would ask someone who was standing in front of you? It's the same kind of question. So if you need them to be, local to you, then that might be something that you ask quite early on in the conversation. Are you local if you do lots of your work in person? If you're online, maybe that's not so relevant. But do you tend to work with people of a certain age or at a certain stage of life? You may want to ask someone that kind of question, so that you're trying to find if they're going to be the right kind of person
for you.
For you, because people that find you on social media and come and follow you, they're like a bit interested, but they are not always the right person. So if we have a little bit of time where we can have a conversation with them, ask them a couple of questions, it might be that they're completely not the right person, but maybe they know somebody, maybe their wife or whoever is the right person. And sometimes people just want to sometimes people will not respond to messages because they actually just want to see more from you before they feel comfortable talking to you.
Yeah.
So you know, we try to put questions out and put content out there to invite people to chat to us, invite people to connect with us. But sometimes there's always some people that, you know, just want to watch for a little while and not quite ready yet. So you know, this is just an introductory message. It's an open question. But if there is anybody that is stuck or is looking for what you offer, that is a way to sort of get chatting with them quite quickly.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Okay, so if you've managed to do that, you can move on to the third task. This is to spend a little bit of time looking at who has seen your stories and who has interacted with you in your Instagram stories. Now, Nayana, you might not be as familiar with that. You might not have anything that you can follow up with, but maybe you can use this time to kind of explore what Instagram stories are and what the stickers are, and I can walk you through that. But Debs, if you've used any in the last couple of days, spend a little bit of time looking and seeing who looked at it, who interacted with it, and following up with them like we normally do. So Instagram stories are the little pieces of content that sit behind your profile picture, and they disappear after 24 hours. So there's different pieces of content to what you would share on your feed. Have you ever shared anything in Instagram stories, Nayana? Oh, it's frozen. Oh, there we go.
It's cold.
Have you ever shared anything in Instagram stories?
So no, I've shared, but I don't know where it's gone, whether it's Instagram. So like I had yesterday I did a post about somebody it's about the event that I'm doing just to help meditation class. So I sent my picture, and there were I saw there was a few people that liked the pic and liked it. So then I follow them up, and that's what you were saying.
Yeah, so that's one of your feed posts. That's one of your main posts that sits on your Instagram feed. You also have a space kind of behind your profile picture where Instagram stories are. So this is content that is a little bit more in real time. You shared kind of the stuff that you're doing at the moment, things that are happening in real time, and then that content disappears after 24 hours.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So if you were sharing like seasonal stuff or things that were relevant, you know, if you were at an event or you were out with your family, you could share things to show your audience in real time.
Okay.
And to do that, you want to go to the little, I don't know if you can see, go to the little plus
sign there, yeah.
Your profile.
Yeah.
And there'll be a button there to share something to a story.
Story, yeah.
And then you can choose something from your camera roll, maybe an image or a video that you've taken that you can then share in stories. That's what it's called. So you could pick something that you've already shared before, that's fine. Or something as an example.
Okay. Story. Okay. Then do you have to write anything on that? Sorry.
You can do, yeah, there's options to add text at the top here.
Mm.
But also what I just want to show you, there's like a little smiley face
That's right.
kind of sticker. That's
Uh-huh.
that's where all the Instagram stickers, Instagram story stickers are. So
Oh,
when
okay.
they follow up with anyone who's interacted with your stickers, these are the kinds of things that we can add on to our story to help people interact with us.
Oh, okay.
So we can ask questions, we can add music, we can add polls, you can add links here. So maybe spend a little bit of time just sort of playing around with them and see what they do. But you can see who has interacted with them, like the specific accounts that have interacted with them. And that's good information to help you follow up and see who those people are.
Okay.
But just have a little play around with it at first so you get familiar with what all the buttons are and where the stickers are. Okay, if you want to move on to task number 4, then this is where we're going to watch and interact with Instagram stories from people that we follow. So we are in their audience. We want to see some content from them, some things that they're sharing. So all along the top of the app are all the profile pictures, the little circles along the top. They are where everybody's stories are. So if they have a live story, it will be behind their profile picture here. So we're just going to spend a little bit of time watching a few other people's stories, seeing what they've shared, and really trying to intentionally interact with them. So think about what they've shared. Maybe they've asked a question, maybe they've shared something that they've been doing. How can we reply or comment or join in with the sticker so that we are intentionally interacting with them? Because there will be a reason why you decided to follow them or decided to connect with them online. So we're just going to spend this time kind of communicating with them and interacting with them.
So when you interact with them, do you do it on the same post that there is, or you just how would you do that? Say you wanted to put a sticker on the like what they've shown us. How would you put a
The
sticker?
only options you've got is that, I mean, I'm just looking at Deb's. I've got Deb's face here on my. You've got, so Deb's has used a sticker here. She's used a poll, so you can click on the poll and vote. That is an interaction.
Okay.
Or along the bottom here, there is a send message, and there's a. So
yes.
you actually just want to send them a message back, a comment back, or you simply just want to like it. So they're the kind of interactions that you can do on stories. If they've used a sticker, then you kind of click into it, whatever the poll says or the question says, or you can just send a message back, or you can like it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and then the last task that we do, this is always the trickiest one. I want you to think bigger than the current audience that you have. In the whole of Instagram, there are loads of opportunities and loads of connections to be made. So what I would love you to do is to reach out to somebody new who you could work with or collaborate with or network with or create some kind of opportunity together. And if you feel comfortable reaching out to them today and sending them an introductory message, or even just interacting with their content in a way to get that connection started, so that you are building a new connection every week. If we do this every week, then we're reaching out to one new person every single week that can bring us new connections, bring us new people, provide new opportunities for us to get visible in front of their audiences potentially. So have a think if there's any kind of anybody you already know of that you think you can think of straight away off the top of your head, or if there's a type of person or a type of like a specific role that you can search for and find someone so that you can connect with. So what I'm thinking of in my head is that I tend to do a lot of guest speaking in different groups. So I would be looking for people that run networking groups, community groups, online female business groups. I would be looking for those kinds of people to collaborate with and do those kinds of, have those kinds of business opportunities. If you try to nail down the kinds of people that you're trying to find that would be good connections, when we do this task, you'll be able to go and find at least one of those new people every week. And then what will happen is that when you make these connections, it might not happen immediately, but over time, you'll find that your name comes up in conversations. People will reach out to you to do things together. You'll be invited to do things. And so it's another way of getting visible in front of other people's audiences. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's a tricky one to do. And if you don't have a name in your head, or you don't have, something that you can instantly search up, it might be worth just spending a couple of minutes just to sort of brainstorm the type of people or the type of groups or the type of accounts that you want to maybe target or reach out to. And then we can do one of these each week.
Yeah, because I think, unfortunately, Lorna, with a couple of people that I've chosen, they've probably been a bit too big. And they've looked at me, little old me, and thought, nah, I'm not doing anything. But yes, starting smaller, I think, for me is probably a good idea.
Starting smaller, yes. Because obviously it needs to be beneficial to both of you. So if
Exactly.
you contact someone who's got a massive audience, who's some kind of industry expert, it's not going to be an even kind of collaboration.
It was going to be beneficial for her, but equally I could get it. When she's hobnobbing with Davina McCall, then yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so maybe like some of the smaller business groups that we're in, or those kinds of things, are a good place to start until.
Yeah.
Well, you never know. Sometimes it's worth a message and
I know, but yeah. Oh, it's learning, isn't it? It's learning.
And what's the worst that can happen? That they read the message and they don't reply.
Exactly.
Yeah, in our language, we say we have to sow the seed. As we sow it, it can sprout anytime.
Absolutely. That is the analogy that I use, though. These are like little seeds that we sow each week, and they'll spring up next year, and we'll suddenly go, oh, I'm suddenly busy with all these invitations and exciting things going on. And it's because of the seeds that you sowed 6 months ago. Yeah. Wonderful. Well, that is our half an hour. Okay. So it goes by very, very quick. We make sure we get all that stuff done. And if we do this on a regular basis, we do this every week in Glow Up on Thursday at 11. You come if you are around. But doing this on a regular basis, keep, like you say, keep sowing those seeds, keeps those conversations going, keeps that visibility up. It really does make a difference. Like, I've noticed when I miss a week or miss 2 weeks or don't do it for a little while, all the numbers go down, things slow down. So it's good to get into the habit of doing this on a regular weekly basis.
Lorna, would you say, I mean, obviously, ideally, daily is the absolute ideal, isn't it? But I mean, is it going to make a massive difference doing it? Well, I suppose it is, isn't it? I'm just answering my own question. It's just time, isn't it?
It is just time. And ideally, you would want to do activities like this every single day.
Yeah.
To prioritize your own time.
Yeah.
This is where, like, being a social media manager is like a full-time role. If you were trying to manage Instagram, LinkedIn,
I know.
And doing this kind of engagement every day, it's essentially a full-time role.
Yeah.
You'd have to pick and choose what would be a good use of your time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
But sometimes I will strategically be like, actually, I'll do some engagement every day this week, because the following week, I'm launching something, or
yes.
So I'll pick and choose times when I will do more of it and I will do less of it. I will do a lot less of it in the holidays.
Yeah.
But, that's me consciously deciding I'm going to actively do it here and not here.
Of course. Yeah. No, I think because it's one of the things I'm wanting to try and get my engagement up. So I've sort of said one of my goals is like, I'm going to spend 15 minutes on a daily basis engaging with people. And I think what I'll do is I'll just break your
give yourself a little
down into just
you just sort of sit there and you kind of just work through the list. You've got to go But it's either you do it or, you know, you get to a point where maybe you can pay somebody to do it. But until you're in that position.
Absolutely. That's the ideal, Lorna.
I suppose once you know how to do it, it becomes easier. Is
Yeah,
that-
Absolutely.
Yeah, I hope so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
'Cause it's
Brilliant.
always-
Thanks ever so much, Lorna. Nice to meet you,
Lorna.
Lorna.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
I'll see you next week. Let me know if
Yeah.
you need help with anything.
Thanks a lot, Lorna. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.